Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a gold glitter cut crease on my niece for her prom. I'm going to start off by filling in her brows using the Anastasia pomade in dark brown. I'm not going to go too in depth on this part. I do have a brow tutorial on my channel already. I'm going to clean it up using some concealer, and then I'm going to start priming her lids. I used the Urban Decay primer potion, and then I went on top of it with some shape tape. And now, without setting my lids, I'm going to start blending in that mauve color from the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I'm just going to start packing that onto her crease, going a little bit above her natural crease because she does have hooded eyes. I'm going to do the same exact thing to the other eye. I'm using mainly patting motions instead of swiping so that it blends out really good. And then I'm going to take a fluffier brush and start blending out a lighter brown color from the same palette. I'm going to link all of the exact shades and products that I'm using in the description box. And I'm going to pack a little bit more of that pink color onto her lid to make sure it's nice and vibrant before I cut the crease. And then going in with the Tarte Shape Tape on a small flat brush, I'm just going to start carving out her crease. And again, you want to make sure you are going above her natural crease so that it won't transfer or smear throughout the day. And I tried to get a good view for you guys. I didn't realize I was blocking it so much, so I tried to zoom in a little bit. But just want to make sure during this part you're going really slow and making sure the line is nice and crisp. And I'm not going to take the concealer all the way down to the edge of her eye just so that it's easier for me to blend out her outer corner later. And I'm just going to pat off any excess concealer that I have on top of her lid and then start blending in the pink to her outer corner. Now on a small flat brush, I'm just going to pack on a little bit of gold onto wherever I put the concealer on top of her lid, being very careful not to go over where I carved her crease. And then I'm just going to blend it out a little bit on the crease. And then I'm going to take a small pencil brush going into the James Charles palette and take a tiny bit of black, and I'm just going to blend that into her outer corner. Using the NYX glitter liner, the gold one, I'm just going to pack that all over her lid wherever I put the gold eyeshadow from the Modern Renaissance palette. And I'm going to flick it out towards the outer corner, creating a little bit of an ombre effect. And then once I finish with the glitter liner, I'm going to go back in with the pink and blend it in a little bit. Using the Benefit roller liner, I'm just going to do a quick little wing. I didn't want to make it too thick because I wanted the focus to be on her eyes, and she does have hooded eyes, so I didn't want it to cover her whole eye when she had it open. So I'm just going to put that on, clean it up with some concealer, and then pop on some lashes. Now, being very gentle, I'm going to wipe off any fallout that came from under her eye, making sure I'm not wiping it very hard because we don't want to cause premature wrinkling. But I'm just going to remove all of her excess fallout that she has from underneath her eye. And I just took my Morphe brush and blended out the edges so it'll go in smoothly when I add her foundation. Taking some Witch Hazel, I'm just going to prep her face. I already moisturized and washed her face and everything earlier in the day, but I'm just going to pat on some Witch Hazel before I apply her primer or foundation. So since she's oily, I'm going to use two different primers. Around her T-zone or anywhere she may get oily, I'm going to pack on a mattifying primer from Peter Thomas Roth, and then around the edges of her face, I'm going to be using the Smashbox Radiance primer. And notice I'm mainly using patting motions instead of wiping, just to make sure it really gets into her skin. To add some glow to her skin, I'm going to be using the Flesh Liquid Illuminator. I'm just going to blend that in using an e.l.f. sculpting brush or stippling brush. I'm just going to pack that anywhere I would put her dry highlighter. We're actually going to be mixing 3 different foundations. Her face undertone is a little bit neutral and she has a bit of redness on her cheeks, but since her chest is extremely yellow and she's going to be wearing spaghetti strap, we wanted to make sure to match her chest. I'm using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in Bronze and Cinnamon, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the Estee Lauder Max Camo in Medium Deep, I believe. And I had to make her put a headband on because all of her little baby hairs were getting all in the foundation. And then I'm going to take the Max Camo and go around her T-zone, anywhere she might get oily, over the redness to make sure it won't fade throughout the day. And then using the Anastasia contour kit, I mix it with a little bit of serum because that contour kit is a little bit dry sometimes. I'm just going to take the Pure Buffing foundation brush and I'm going to start blending in her cream contour. I'm going to go around her temple, on her chin, her nose with a small Morphe brush, and all of her cheekbones and neck and all that good stuff. Just making sure it's extremely blended out and flawless. I'm going to go back in with the same brush I used on her foundation and blend out the edges just a tiny bit. For highlight around her entire face, I'm going to be using the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer in medium dark, but just on her very inner corner to make sure she doesn't crease at all, I'm going to go in with the Shape Tape and medium tan sand, I believe. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of that in her very inner corner. Then I'm going to blend it out using the Morphe brush. I don't remember the name of it, but I'll link it. And taking her foundation brush, make sure to blend out her nose contour so it's not too harsh. And then once everything is blended out, I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier setting powder. I'm going to pack that all under her eye, making sure she doesn't crease at all. Blend out the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing on that side. Once I set with the powder, I'm going to make sure to go around her smile lines, around her T-zone, everything, because she's going to be dancing all night. She's going to be sweating. I don't want her makeup to move. I want it to look perfect the entire night. So I'm going to really make sure I pack that on, the powder on, underneath her eyes and around her T-zone and everything. A little bit of powder in her liner, so I'm just going to touch that up real quick with the roller liner from Benefit. And then I'm going to go in with the Pure 5-in-1 Perfecting Powder in Deeper, and I'm just going to bronze her entire face. And don't forget about the neck. Don't ever forget about the neck, but make sure not to put too much around the jawline because it can go bad really fast. Going with the same liquid illuminator from Flesh, I'm just going to blend that into her high points of her face, around her nostrils, on her cheeks. I didn't go too close to the nose on the cheek, if that makes sense, because I usually blend in the highlighter all over the cheekbone, but she does have a little bit of breakout on her cheek and I didn't want to emphasize it too much, so I didn't go too close to it with the highlighter. But for underneath the eyes, I'm going with the same colors, the pink, a little bit of black on the outer corner, and then I highlighted her inner corner using the same gold. And for liner, I did use the Urban Decay Demolition eyeliner. And I went in with some Carmex before I lined her lips using a little bit of lip liner. I didn't focus too much on it. I just wanted it to help the color not fade. I'm going to carve her lips out, clean it up a little bit, and then I popped on some bottom lashes. You'll see a little later. I did it off camera. And that's it. I'm going to spray her down with some of the all-nighter anti-pollution setting spray so that it'll block any humidity, anything from getting into her pores, any type of sweating, all that good stuff. This is the finished look. It came out so good. I loved it. And she looked so pretty. I did her hair too. So I hope you guys really liked the video. If you do, please make sure to subscribe. Leave me a like, share the video, and I'll see y'all next time.